I'm a motherfucking beast, girl. In this jungle out here, beware. When you see me in these motherfucking streets, girl. Like I don't even care, be clear. I'ma tell you exactly what you wanna hear sometimes. I'ma mean that shit sometimes. I won't mean that shit, I'm trying to find a way to beat that shit. Tell you exactly what you wanna hear, and I'ma have fun with it. Give me your heart and I'll run with it. Give it back in pieces when I'm done with it.
What up, world? Welcome to another episode of the Relationship DNA. We are so sorry that we took a hiatus, but we are back. This is your co-host, Ant Smalls, and I got the lovely D, Renee, with me. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, people, we back and we better. We here.
Yes. You know, life took a turn when the city opened back up where everybody got back to just living again. So you can't be mad that you take those moments to enjoy life. So we'll just say that. With that being said, today's topic that we have for y'all is called Falling in Love. Love is an acronym for lusting over vagina energy. This is the topic I've been holding in the cup for a while, and I'm just happy that we're able to do it now. I figure we come back with a bang. Oh, man. So how you been otherwise? Let's give everybody an update. What's been going on? What you been up to?
I've been good. My side business has been doing good. My 9 to 5, it's been okay. You know, learning that. Can't wait to, I could just talk podcasting and do beauty stuff all day. But until then, you got to do your 9 to 5. And I've been outside, I ain't gonna lie, enjoying, you know, the freedoms of being outside and enjoying indoor dining and just being around people. So it's been really good. I can't complain. I miss doing this. Like, I really enjoy it. So I'm happy to see you. What you been up to?
Nothing, just living life. You know, the kids are getting old. Son is about to turn 19. He just moved in officially with me.
Wow.
Angel's turning 17. And she got her first summer job working at Rob Playland. So that's interesting.
That is the first job for everybody. That is so cute. That is super cute.
And Anaya just turned 12. So, you know, family's getting up there. Anniversary just passed. My 40th just passed. That's what we missed. My 40th passed. So yeah. I had a lot of fun. Shout out to my brother who did the surprise trip to Houston. Houston was fire. Thanks to all my cousins, all my friends that came out. That, like, I just thought it was just gonna be me and him, but he did justice with that one.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So before we get into everything, let's give out our morning affirmation. This segment right here is where we just get some positivity in the beginning of your morning or the beginning of the episode or whenever you listen to this. So what do you have for the people for their morning affirmation?
So I always go to books. And I thought I picked the good old book, the Bible. Since we're talking about love, you know, religious people don't kill me, but there is one thing that keeps me hopeful as a single woman in today's society. I read 1 Corinthians, and it just gives, whenever I feel I'm giving up on love or giving up on meeting that person, or somebody is frustrating me, even my family or friends, I always read, like, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not pride, it does not dishonor other people, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. So I thought we would, you know, start off with, you know, some good words of refreshment. I know a lot of people are outside, or, you know, they may have broken up with their quarantine boo or looking for other people. Love is out there, and just sharing a little of the holy word.
Oh, that's a good word, because we're going to use some of that scripture for this episode. So we're talking about love. So I will throw out there for the folks, there's nothing like self-love. I don't think that we preach it enough. Self-love comes with protecting yourself, protecting your mental, protecting your space, and putting yourself above everybody. Because as we talk about this topic of love, people tend to love more than the other person. It's never 50-50. It's never 100-100. Somebody's going to always edge out the other person. And I always live by this rule. The person who loves the most is going to hurt the most. So make sure you protect yourself by learning to love yourself above all others. So with that being said, that will be our morning affirmation. So our next topic is the relationship role play.
Oh boy.
So we have a scenario for everybody. Scenario is, since the city's open back up, during quarantine for that year, for that span, boy, girl, been dating or entanglement for that whole quarantine phase. The city opens back up. The girl actually posts on social media that she's single and living in these streets. The guy sees it on social media, and we act this out from that detail right there. So our girl D Renee got the traits of but, however, justification and excuses, and I got the traits of accountability and communication. So we're going to set our timer for 2 minutes, and we're going to act this out. This is always fun. So you ready?
I'm ready. Hold on. Let me get my sip.
I need a drink. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yo, what's up, yo?
Hey, boo, what's going on?
How you been, yo? I want to see you and all, but I want to ask a question. So I was on social media, and it says you're single and you're in the streets.
Yeah, I'm outside.
I mean,
quarantine over.
We all go to work, so we all outside. I'm just trying to understand, what do you mean by you in the streets?
It's the street life. That's the only life I know. Like, I'm outside. I'm trying to see what's up. Like, I haven't seen my peoples. I haven't seen what's out there. So I want to do me.
When you say do you, does that involve me or does that involve somebody else?
It involves all of us. Like, if you still want to vibe with me, you want to be outside, we could be outside, but we're not exclusive. So I thought, we were quarantining and chilling, but now outside, I want to explore my options.
I just don't understand. Like, we the whole quarantine, we were like laid up and hugging, and I thought we were like making love together and like connecting on a higher level. Now you're saying you're in the streets. I'm confused.
I mean, we were trying to be safe. Like, I can't just be outside with everybody. Like, I was protecting me and you, and I was just with one person. So we vibe. Like, we was just vibing.
But if you're in the streets, that no longer includes B. The streets.
Well, you in the streets, like you said. So the streets include you.
But when I say I'm in the streets, I'm going to work. I'm going.
The streets
to my mom.
mean
I'm going
everywhere.
to volunteer at the shelter. That doesn't mean I'm single, like you said in your post. And the streets is plural. That's an S on the end. So how many streetings are you doing?
I'm in the streets. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You never told me you wanted to be exclusive. That wasn't what this was.
But I thought we were.
We didn't know if we were going to make it. Like,
we've been making it all this time. Now the city's open up. You just trying to cut it off now?
Listen, I've been talking to my therapist. And she's telling
Time.
Me, I was about to gaslight you real quick with the therapy stuff.
Man. So, I hope y'all enjoyed that relationship role play. We both actors out here. I got some acting chops in the streets, and D Renee got some action chops too. You was on Nightlife, right?
Nightlife, yes.
Yes, Nightlife. I did some projects here and there. Some of them got picked up. I actually got one movie credit, and the movie never came out. Wow. So I hope it come out sooner or later so I can see my one little scene. But that being said, so we got that out the way. Before we get into the discussion of the main topic, as always, I just want to let y'all know, Relationship DNA came about as me and D always talks about relationships and interacting. And we decided to do it in a podcast form. We love speaking. We love the therapeutic idea of going back and forth. We like to purge the thoughts in our mind, get it out of our soul. So we put it here for you, and we hope to stay more consistent. And that's who we are. That's our purpose. That's our goal. And why we do this, because we love to talk, and because we talk all the time, we decided to record it. So let's get back to the topic. Falling in love, lusting over vagina energy. Whew. When you hear that topic, what goes through your mind for the people?
I feel like they be in love with the with the vagina and not with the person. I just feel like it's so physical now. People are able, male and female, can have these intimate moments with people and it just be that, no strings attached. They outside, they in the streets. So it's like, especially coming from a single woman's point of view, it's really hard nowadays to know when somebody is vibing with you. Like, you can have good conversation with them, you can have amazing sex, high intimacy, dates, all these different things, meeting parents, all these different things. And then when it comes to commitment or comes to next steps, it's like a uncertainty, but you're not uncertain when it's time, to dive in. So what's going on? Is it society? Is it people settling? What is changing? What is so different in today's society than how it was before? There was infidelities and there was other things before, but people have more commitment. I feel people are lacking commitment in their relationships, even sexual relationships. Before, you had to be in a relationship or at least claim me as your girl, even if you have 5 or 6 girls. But at least you was like, that's my man. You can't even say that's my man no more. They be like, yo, I never thought we was in a relationship. I never said that,
So I'm glad you laid that out. The reason why this topic came about, we were talking about love, and people had different definitions, expressions, experiences, and stuff like that. And as I heard everybody talk, I'm saying, but that's not what love is. And it was like, well, you can't tell somebody how they love. I said, no, I'm not telling you how to love. I'm saying that that's not the definition of love. And they said, how you figure? And I gave this point. You love your child, correct? They say yes. I said, would you die for your child? They said, correct. I said, the you sexing that you say you love, would you die for him? And it was like, no. I said, that's love, you big dummy. So in my mind,
actions. Yep.
It's not even actions. It's just a commitment, a willingness to go above and beyond for a person that is not you.
You said it, that commitment.
So I wanted to get some clarity by bringing it to this conversation. But the reason why I use the acronym lusting over vagina energy, because a lot of times people will give up the draws, the sex, or whatever it is before they even find out the true commitment and then call it love.
Exactly.
So that's why that topic came up. So now that we got that laid out, I want to ask you on par with the topic, what is love?
Love for me is action. So many people have told me they love me, but I've only known by, I could feel it. Like, you could feel somebody love you, like they say it, and with intent, you look in their eyes and you feel it. But I feel like it's the things that you do, the sacrifices you make, the not just the things you say. Like you said, would you die for that person? No doubt. Like, my friends I love, my family I love, I'm going to die for them. I'm a ride or die. And I feel we don't reciprocate that nowadays. People are so what's the word I'm looking for? People are ready to toss you in a second. They're not really, there's no commitment. You could be with somebody for 6 months and then you just delete them out your life. Like they didn't exist, like RIP. And I have done that, but there were reasons why I did that, because the person did me so wrong. But I still have an attachment to them in my heart. I still feel them, but they just don't, they no longer exist in my phone and in my life. And me, I'm the type of person, if somebody hurts me really bad, the way that I cope is I try to forget about it. I don't talk about them. They exist. I didn't had a funeral. Like, they done.
Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring.
Rat race. And if they see the men with the qualifications, then they're all chasing them. And it's like, you're not even putting yourself in the race, that you are worth someone to call you back, text you back. Just the simple things. Know that you like red Doritos and different things like that. Show appreciation and gratitude. I feel like we especially single women in their 30s, we feel like we got to chase these men that have these qualities, because there's not a lot of men out there when it comes to unconditional love. Now, when it comes to the small things, for me, I feel, because I would put in a point of view of me, that I've been through so much and I let the small things pass so many times that as soon as I see something small, I automatically get turned off. So that's something that I am working on, that, and I need to communicate that those things trigger me and talk about my past traumas, because I don't want to seem like I'm a woman that has been, what's the cliche, a hurt woman or a tarnished woman, or, you know, I don't have like an open heart or different things like that. So that's my defense mechanism of not really expressing that this is a trigger or this is a trauma, explaining my past so that the partner or the person I'm chasing, well, not even saying chasing, the person that I desire and want to be with knows that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we have, me, I can't say every woman, but me as a person, when I date a guy and it's a small thing that I don't like, I'll automatically just shut down, which I should be able to open up and communicate, you know? So I think those are the three things.
I'm writing down some stuff because you said something, but I want to challenge you on it.
Oh Lord, you always challenging me. Let me.
That's how we got to go further into the conversation to pull back the layers to get a better understanding. A lot of times, I felt like, especially on social media, people just throw blanket statements out there, no context, no nothing, and a lot of times it triggers responses because people are being triggered by the experiences, but the statement is actually not saying anything. It's actually just a trigger post to get people to respond. So I don't want that to be, I want clarity here. You know how we do. We want to give true understanding. So you said women give their love unconditionally to the wrong person.
I've done it. I'm a victim. Yes.
How do you, as a woman that has done that, switch that up and don't invest your time into the wrong person?
I talk to the experts. I speak to therapists. I speak to people who are in long-lasting relationships. I speak to people who have open communication skills, people who are skilled in conflict resolution. I speak to people who I feel are the experts or who have more experience in these situations. And I try to use my feelings or my experiences, my therapists, the experts, I call them, and I try to rationalize and weigh that out to make better decisions and to be better in my future dating experiences.
In the future dating experience?
Well, now, that's why I say now. Well, in my present and future dating experiences.
Okay. You know, you said it to the people, so I'm like, okay, so that future, does that mean you're working on it, or that means that's what you're currently doing?
I'm a work in progress, so I am dating while I'm getting my shit together.
I hear you. So the other thing that you spoke about that I want to bring up, you mentioned conditional tit for tat relationships. The topic is love, and not confusing love with lusting over vagina energy. How does one try to find love through conditional standards when they're looking for, as you said, unconditional love? Because if you're doing something in a relationship hoping to get something in return, isn't that a condition?
I feel like we look for people with qualities, but you can look good on paper, but can we have a conversation? Can I enjoy a movie with you? Can we be friends? And I feel like we take the friendship out of love. We take the companionship out of love. We just look at love as, okay, I want to, be on vacation. I want to look good for the gram, or I want to have a +1 at a wedding. Like my goal, I'm not even going to lie. My goal for my friend's trip, I told her, I was like, I'm going to book this big room because I want to have a +1. I want to go to Jamaica. I manifest that I was going to be in Jamaica with this guy that I liked, and we were going to have a good time. I end up in this big ass room by myself. But I didn't want to spend 7 days with someone that I would not have fun with, because my friends, these are friends that I've had since I was 14. They will call this person out, and it would just be embarrassing the whole 7 days that I'm there. So I actually enjoyed 7 days it's the first time I ever went on vacation. Like, of course I had people there, friends, but the first time I ever stayed in a room by myself, not having a friend with me. Like, I had a whole big suite to myself, and it really showed me my growth in self-love. Like
And
I was taking bubble baths. I was writing in my, like I was Rev Run, writing in my diary. I was sitting there sipping espresso martinis, sleeping naked, having a good time, watching Sex in the City all night, going down to breakfast when I want to, breakfast in bed, everything like that. I really enjoyed my time alone. And I really want to go, I want to do a solo vacation now.
Yo, the funny thing is,
I
as you're
talk to
saying
people
this,
I never would have talked to. Yeah.
As you're saying this, all I'm thinking is Dexter from Eddie Murphy's joke, how the girl goes on the beach and then Dexter St. Jock makes love to their woman while they out in Jamaica. And I'm just like 7 days, big hotel, nobody tried to holler, no nothing. You didn't get a young Stella got her groove back experience. Nothing.
Winston.
What's your name, young man?
My name's Winston. Winston Shakespeare. And yours, young lady?
My name's Stella Winston.
And send your woman off to the romantic Bahamas by herself? By herself to the Bahamas? She's walking on the beach, she laid out all day and got a tan. Your woman is fine and got a body looking right. She's walking on the beach crying. In the Bahamas, lovers on the beach making love. She's all by herself walking along, feeling sad, thinking about you, and everybody is real romantic. The ocean is shimmying off, the moon is shimmying off the ocean, and your woman's standing there looking at it and crying, and all of a sudden a dude named Dexter walks up. Dexter St. Jock.
Winston.
And everybody was like, everybody was like, you're going to find a way. I didn't even go there to find somebody. I went there to go find myself. Like, honestly, for real, I forgot how it felt to feel love. Like my friends, like my homegirl, she met a good ass man. Like, I don't know. I can count on like one hand, the Black couples that are really in love, that are married. Of course, you and Stephanie is one of them. My friend Carison, her husband, Billy, and it's a few others that I can't even think of on my head. I have to really think it and pencil it out. But I really discovered that I'm a hopeless romantic, that I really, like, I'm thinking, like, before my concept of what I wanted, it was totally different than what I want now. Like, and it took 7 days for me to be alone in a Jamaica trip to realize that what I thought I wanted was not what I wanted. I just wanted it because I thought that it would be more achievable. But I shouldn't second guess myself. Like, I should go for what I want. Like, I read Corinthians all the time. This is what I want. I want someone patient, kind. And then you know what I did? I wrote down all these things. There was couples there, and I would like interview them. I'm like, okay, so what's one thing that you learned to keep your relationship together? I learned that kindness. I learned to keep humor in your relationship. I learned never go to bed mad at somebody. And these are things that I be doing because I be going to bed mad on my phone, but like, fuck this nigga, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? All that energy, that negative energy, I need to let that go. And then being with my friends, like seeing my friend that was 14 get married and she's in the best shape of her life and the best moment in her life, like to even be with my other friends that have stuck with me through trials and tribulations and different things like that, and we bonded together, and I just learned so much about myself. And in that solitude, like what I really want, like I'm sitting here second guessing myself, like I'm sitting here tripping myself out to the things that I really don't want. And because I'm too scared to fight for it. I'm too scared to believe that I cannot achieve it. So I'm settling for some bullshit.
So let me jump in.
Myself out.
Let me jump in.
Go ahead.
So it sounds like you fell in love, not love, but lusting over vagina energy. I want you to speak to how women lust over their own vagina energy and get it mixed up with love. Because you say you want this guy, you manifest this guy, you booked this thing, and all of a sudden the guy is not there. So how do women trick them on their own selves and lusting over their own vagina energy or mismanaging their vagina energy?
Well, mismanaging it, I've mismanaged it a lot. Let people in that shouldn't have been. But I feel, and this is weird, I know this is like maybe TMI, but there's just things that I do differently that is sacred to me. And I'm like, I invest this much in myself, you ain't getting in. So one thing I do is I invest in sugaring instead of waxing, which is more, it's like all natural, it's holistic. It's a different way of a bikini wax. So I'm like, I'm sitting here spending plus a jelly mask. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm exfoliating. I'm doing all this stuff for $115 and I'm letting you slide in for free. Like, no, like, and it's not putting a value. It's not putting it's not putting monetary value on it. But it's the process. Of course, it costs money, and it costs. But like, you really think to yourself, I'm paying somebody $115 to exfoliate, to wet, to do all this stuff, and I don't cherish it like I should. And it's like, I know it's dumb and it's physical, but it took small things like that to make me cherish myself more. And I guess the self-love, the self-care kind of goes in to tie with me. That's like my beauty brand. I kind of say that self-love is self-care, vice versa. So it's the things that I do, you know, for my body and for myself, and I holistically like just makes sense. It connects, like the self-care, the self-love. Like, I'm doing all this for myself. This not saying that I'm better than anybody, or you gotta buy me this exquisite dinner or take me out somewhere. It's how you treat me. It's not about the value, because I've had dudes that cashed at me hundreds of dollars, that took me to the finest restaurants and have done the worst to me. So I'm not even talking about the monetary things that men do. I'm talking about, well, did you check on me today? Or, you know, I'm stressed out in training. Did you ask me, you know, did you eat today? Or did you even say my condolences that your nephew passed away? It's just little things that happen in my life now that I like pay attention to.
Calling me teacher. Calling me teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
So you mentioned earlier, you know, I got to do this. I listen to everything and try to get the discussion going. You talked about actions.
Yes.
How does the concept of actions speak louder than words allow women to fool their own vagina energy in by a man's actions? Because the actions seem to always get us the sex. So how do women fool their own vagina energy by paying attention to a man's actions?
Because of the moment. Of course, when a guy's in the moment, you think about it, oh, he's on good behavior because he's trying to get it. You know, he's going to do everything to get you to that point. The thing about it is the consistency. I feel like once we get to the height, it's like you're climbing up the stairs, and then you get to the stairs, and then there's a slide. Like, no, it's not supposed to be a slide. It's supposed to be a
Shoots
step.
and ladders. Shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
It taught you that as a child.
Exactly. So it's like we get so excited to be at the top, but the stairs is about to collapse and I'm about to fall all the way back down. So it's like, you got to look at the consistency. Like, I want to stay on this level. Like, you only took me all the way up to this level, you know, and I'm not talking about a pedestal or not trying to make it, you know, like that. But I mean, figuratively, if you walk up the steps, like, okay, he calls every day. He asks me how I'm doing. He bought me red Doritos. He got me 2 pumps of vanilla. It's the Doritos for me. And it's the simple things. It's like, I love, if you bring me my coffee the right way, it's weird for me. Little things like just do it for me. And I just like, he knows I like 2 pumps in my French vanilla coffee. I'm in love. It's just little things like that. But it's those little steps. And then finally, when you at step 10, and like, all right, tonight is the night. And then after that,
you call them back. After that sexual encounter, is that what you're saying for the viewers, listeners? Or after that night?
After that sexual encounter, or after it's like more of a, you know, hooking up type thing. Then you just slowly like,
so
and then you're like,
let me chime in and add context clues to what you're saying. For all of our listeners, if I say anything that you need to listen to this. I've heard Chris Rock say this, and it holds true even in stand-up.
Women cannot go backwards in lifestyle. Men cannot go backwards sexually. Can't do it. Once we get the sex we like, that's how the we get stubborn in our old age. We're like, I like my coffee like this, I like my steak like this, and I like like this. And if you ain't like I'm then get the out. Ladies, remember the first time you ever dated a guy with his own car? Remember that? You was leaving the club, your girlfriend's got on the bus, you're like, bye. I see y'all later. I'm getting in this warm ass car. And from that moment on, you like, hey, you better have a car. You ain't getting this without a car.
Women cannot go backwards in lifestyle, and men cannot go backwards sexually. Whatever you do early in a relationship sets a benchmark. That's the pedestal. It's not you going up the steps and then a slide. That's where you're putting the relationship at. So if you do tricks in the bedroom the first day, why am I whining and dining you? We passed all of the societal norms of working hard to get some. We did it already. So why do I have to whine and dine you? Because we're here. We're at the highlight of the game. The game is on and we're doing this stuff. And now you're saying, well, I still want to be whining and dining treated like this. Now I already got it. So do I have to do the effort again to get it again? That doesn't make sense. And in the same vein, if a woman dates a guy who's taking them on trips and paying for everything, and as you said, cash having no money, are they going to now date somebody that lives with their mama and takes a bus everywhere? Is it easy for you to just adjust to that if you were used to private jets?
See, and this is why I think we should date people that like the same things that we do. If a guy likes to go out to eat, then we're going to continue to go out to eat. But if you're going out to eat just because I like to go out to eat and you're trying to impress me, then maybe that's not the person I'm supposed to be with. And I have learned that too. Like I have a friend, he's a male friend, and he loves to go out to eat. And that's my buddy. Like we go out to eat, like, but that's what he loves to do. I'm not saying that there's a lot of other things that I'm not attracted to, or we're just friends. We're on a friend level. Like it's no intimacy. He's involved with someone else, but that's my foodie buddy. You know, we both enjoy that. So I feel like we need as women to dig deeper and to ask those questions. Do you like to go out to eat? Because I like to go out to eat. And if you don't like to go out to eat, can we have a balance? Can we go out to eat every other month or maybe we can have different type of cuisine night? Like I cook Italian, one day you make sushi rolls, whatever. Like if that's the type of energy you want, I like different types of food and we can compromise. Well, I don't like to go out to eat. I like to stay home. All right, well, if we stay at home, you better chef it up or something. Maybe feel like I'm at a restaurant or something, you know?
So you're bringing up something interesting. You're talking about building.
Yes.
Which in order to reach the status of true love, which is unconditional and everything you said in the biblical quote and commitment and all that stuff like that, in order to build love, not vagina energy, but real love, you have to build a foundation. So what is it that you need? The one thing that you need in a relationship that is a solid foundation for you to build upon?
Communication. I need to know how you feel because I am an overthinker. And I saw this one quote, an overthinker needs a great communicator. I need somebody who silences my mind. I have no doubt that where we at is good. Like my friendships, and I always based a lot of my love on my friendships because those are my longest relationships, you know, and I base the loyalty, well, not even, you know, intimacy could be on other levels, intimacy, not sexual, but, you know, conversation, laughs, different things like that. I base that feeling of love and loyalty and respect and all those things. So I put that on a high pedestal. I put those values up there. So when I'm meeting my partner that I'm going to be spending way more time than my friends and I want to build with, we're supposed to have intimacy, sexual relations, all of that. We gotta meet there. You know, we gotta have talks. We gotta have interests. You gotta be supportive. I gotta be supportive of you. I may not like everything that you like, but if you love it, then we should be able to talk about it. I should be able to appreciate that you love it. It may not be my cup of tea. It may not be my interest. Like sports are not my interest at all. But if I know I have a man that loves sports, I have to find some type of common interest or give him the respect. Like if he's going, you know, to a football thing or different things like that, I give him, you know, well, who's winning? Who's playing today? Or all right, I'm gonna let you go go this or whatever. I'll see a meme about it or something like that. You know, I try to find a common ground of something that we could talk about, because you're never going to really find a person that likes everything that you like or have the same things that you have.
So let me ask a question.
Yes.
You said communication is your foundation. That's what you need to build something solid in a relationship. How does a person, not saying you, but I just want you to answer for women in general. Okay. How does a woman in general build a relationship of love on a foundation of communication, but fails to recognize through communication that sex might be the highlight of this experience?
I mean, then you both should be sexually inclined. I mean, why date somebody that, I mean, if one person loves sex and you don't love it, y'all don't need to be together.
I'm not talking about loving sex. I'm talking about, like you said, I'm using everything you said in the discussion. Okay. You said you're going up the ladder, you have sex, and then you shoot down. Somewhere in that communication of the shoot down, something there was a miscommunication. How do women always allow themselves to have sex and then be mad at the man when the expectation doesn't come out of a true loving relationship?
See, one thing about me, and this is why I be up and down, be a water slide for me, is because it dries up if I don't get what I want. I'm not the type of woman, and maybe that's why I'm not married, because like maybe, you know, some women, they be like, oh, I have sex with my husband when I'm mad, or whatever the case may be. If I'm upset with you, it's shut down. Cookie Factory is shut down. I don't want to see you. I don't want to touch you. I don't want nothing until we apologize. So I don't know if I'm a good delegate of the women committee to talk on this matter, because I'm very different. Maybe that's why it's been rough for me, because a man knows if he want to be with me, you got to get it back. You got to build. You're going to have to build them steps back up, or it's over.
In the words of Ja Rule, you know what? I still you. Can I get a you? So you're saying all of that, but if they get it, the women, I'm saying this because if anybody's like listening and watching, women tend to give sex just as much as men want it, but then don't hold themselves accountable for knowing that they gave themselves to somebody who wasn't fully invested on that foundation that they're looking for.
Me, I never get mad about that. Me, I'm the type of person, if we down, I'm down. I'm not gonna get mad over one time or 2 times or 3 times with that person, because at that moment, like I said, you got it ready. You got it hot and ready. So I'm not mad at you. I gotta be mad at myself, because at the end of the day, I'm like, dang, I didn't give it up to him. I mean, I'm never mad at the man. I'm mad at myself because I should have known better. I fell for the tricks, and I'm still a kid.
But you know, in general, all women say these ain't all they want is sex, this and that, while ignoring, hey, we can't have sex without you. You wanted it.
I don't agree with that. I don't, especially in this time that we in, I do not agree with that. I feel like women be wanting it just as much as men. Agreed. And I feel it's more open now. I feel women are using, y'all don't come for me now, are using their vaginas to get what they want. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. If that's what you do, that's fine. And it's very open and okay, but you already got to know it's a barter. Everything's like a barter nowadays. It's not a relationship, it's bartering. I took you out. I did this, give you some, it's like a bartering. There's no balance. There's no like, okay, we're together. It's a relationship. We're building. It's not that. It's a tit for tat. It's ghetto.
So let me ask you a question. For answer this for all the women. Can lust, because we're talking about lusting over vagina energy and love, can lust and love live in the same household?
I think you gotta have lust to have love. Like I think if there's just lust, there's a problem. But I feel like you could love somebody and not lust for them, and then there's no sparks, there's no intimacy. I've been with a man that everything I loved about him, but the intimacy was gone. So there was no lust, there was no desire, there's no sparks. So I just feel like there has to be lust and love. It can't be one or the other. I feel like you need the 2 L's to make it work.
Okay, so then explain this to me, which I hear a lot of women say.
Mm-hmm.
I love hard. What the hell does that mean? Because there's no context, there's no clues. People kind of take these universal phrases and then throw everything under the sun into it. So what does that mean? Can you answer that on behalf of women?
I guess what they mean by love hard means that when they really love someone or they fall in love with someone or that affection comes around, they don't give up. They're fully invested. And I feel I wouldn't say I love hard. I used to say that, but now that I really think about it, I don't think I love hard. I think I love smart.
So let me ask you another question on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
In a breakup, who's more often to break up in a relationship, men or women?
Women always breaking up with men and then get back with them. I hate.
So how do you love? So how do you love hard? And saying not you, but women. How do they say I love hard? Because that's a universal woman phrase I hear. I don't hear men saying that. But always quick to quit.
I feel like they want to threaten them because I feel like they feel like men like a chase. And I'm like, I'm done with you. I don't want to do this no more. Or giving ultimatums. Ultimatums ain't nothing. Like that's one thing I learned too. I'm not giving no ultimatums. I'm out. Because if you give an ultimatum and you still stay, a man is never going to trust your word. So if I'm at the end of the road, I'm just by like this. I'm gonna give you. Listen, I told you from this day, I'm very descriptive now. I told you this day that this is what I want. You didn't do it that day. So after a week or so, I let it slide. Now I'm telling you the second time, this is what I like. You didn't do that. I can't accept that. The third time, I told you on this day, at this time. The second time I told you this day, that time. Now we are at the third day, and I think it's best that we go separate ways. Have a blessed life. And I'm serious, like, because I feel like I've wasted so much time. And I know at 36? I know that's still young to some people, or I'm in the danger zone. I do feel like I'm in a danger zone. I'm not even gonna lie. I do feel like I'm in a danger zone. So for me, I feel time is of essence. I really don't have time anymore.
So you know what's funny?
I explain myself. What?
You know what's funny? You spoke to something that's tied to the entire conversation.
Okay.
If I behave in my actions, I get sex from all women. That's generally how you said men love a chase. Men love to chase the vagina. They don't love to chase for love. Does that make sense?
I get that. It makes sense because when a man really wants you, I get that. It clicked in my head because it's different when a man loves you and not the vagina. I know the difference. When a man loves you and a man loves the vagina, I have learned the difference. And that when you said that, it just clicked in my mind. I feel like when a man loves you, there's no chase. He's telling you up front, you what I want. I want you. And this is I'm patient. I'm going to wait. I'm going to do this. When a man's chasing you for vagina, it's like they shining, little flashy things. Like, like a puppy. Like, here, take it, take the treat.
You're speaking to conditioning because if you think about, we all went to school, we heard about the story about Pavlov's dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I act a certain way, you reward me. So if I behave this way, you give me sex. Mm-hmm. If I do something wrong and you stay, you're conditioning me that you're gonna stay. You're conditioning. So how does a woman confuse men over what conditioning is, what lusting over vagina energy is, through all of a woman's actions that have nothing to do with love, which is a topic?
Say that one more time.
I'm sorry. That
was a lot.
Sometimes in your head it sounds good. You try to say it. So
I know.
Just saying.
I was trying to grasp it.
So it's the conditioning of you're saying we through our actions we can have sex, and through our bad behavior or mistakes we're conditioned that you're going to stay. So we keep messing up. But if a woman's seeking love, how does she find love in these actions of her own? She's creating an environment for men to behave in a certain way.
She has to play a different game. Or I'm not even going to use the word game. She has to come with a strategy. You gotta dating is collect. My friend says you collecting data. You
Collecting
finding
bodies.
out what you like. What,
I'm sorry.
not everybody date. Not everybody I date. Cause sometimes it ain't there for me. It's weird with me. It's really weird. But I feel you gotta come with a strategy. Like you can't be caught off guard out here. You gotta know what you want. You gotta know your boundaries. You gotta stick to your word and you gotta stay focused. It's like, and I feel like we had spoke about this before, that I feel like men have the upper advantage about dating and courting and different things like that because they're learned sportsmanship. Women, we're not learned that. We learn everything of nurturing and patience and kindness and different things. In sportsmanship, it's a game. We play it. We do this. You shoot it. You don't. There's no sore losers. You don't win this one, you can win the next one. I feel like women, we're not trained that way. So we have to condition ourselves to stay focused, to strategize, to keep your eye, like the eye on a tiger, like to be focused, like don't get sidetracked. And I feel like that's the upper advantage that men have on women. We don't learn sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm. So you speaking earlier about the Bible and commitment, unconditional and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Is it possible for for love to have any bad experiences when it's connected to love?
Say that one more time.
It says you're saying that love has no pay. Love is kind. Love is envy. Does not boast, and all the stuff like that. Patient, all the stuff like that. Can love have any bad experiences if all of these rules in that you read from the Bible apply to love? Can love have any bad experiences?
Of course, love can have bad experiences.
Can you give me an example of some?
My dating life, no. I feel timing. You may love somebody at the wrong time. I feel life. Sometimes we're so focused on one thing that we're not even able to see the blessings that we have because life has challenged us in a situation where we're so extremely stressed that we don't see the blessing in front of us and we take advantage of the opportunity to love. So timing, situations, not making good decisions, not being honest. Like it says, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Sometimes you have to be honest in love, and a person that respects you and love you and believes in you may not like what you said, but respect what you said, and you're able to grow and move forward. So I feel like it's not saying that love is telling you what love is. It's not telling you what love is not. In Corinthians. So I feel like everybody's situation is different. And I feel if we grasp the opportunity to love and it's the right timing, situation, everything, it just kind of falls into place. And I'm not saying that it's perfect because the most situations, we failed at. Like, look at, you were married before. You learn from that. I'm not saying, I personally don't know your relationship that you had with your prior wife, but I know there was some love in it. It may have not been the right love or the right connection, but you had learned from that situation, correct?
Yes, and I will not besmirch her character on it. No, we stop.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm just saying, we become the person we're going to be from prior love experiences. I love somebody I thought I was going to be with the rest of my life and they chose someone else. What did I learn from that situation? I learned that I just wasn't for them and that I learned a lot though. I learned a lot and I really wish, honestly, that I was brave enough to be that person's friend, but I'm still like hurt over it. Like because I really felt love and I was hurt that it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to be, but I learned how love has to be a friendship. And maybe one day I'll be able to be friends with that person, but right now I'm still, I'm not over it.
Well, love definitely has a lot of context to it. Very multifaceted. It has one true definition, but we do attach a lot to it. And from that first situation to my current, I learned a lot, not just about myself, but just about life, about growing. And I wish we had these life lessons in school versus the garbage that I think they teach in school currently. Everything that's supposed to prepare you for life is not found in school. Not self-love, not therapeutic, not relationship tools, not conflict resolution skills, not how to measure somebody's energy, what vibration they're on, how to become one with just being around certain energies, good and bad, how to budget your books, how to manage your bills. None of that stuff is taught in school. I truly think
emotional
school,
intelligence, emotional
that
intelligence
too.
is not taught. You taught business ethics, but not life lessons. Like you're taught to be honest at work, not to steal, to, if you see somebody say, even MTA, if you see something, say something. But it's like those life skills we're not learned, like to be honest to my friend, to tell my parents the truth, different things like that. When someone hurts your feelings, tell them how you feel. Like these simple lessons that we learn the hard way could be taught to us at a younger age. And we wouldn't go through the struggles that we go through.
How about learning how to be honest with yourself?
That point.
Which we learned in therapy after we done messed up for so many years. Being honest with yourself and not lying to yourself doesn't create the illusion of what's out there through your eyes. You just got to be honest with yourself. So yeah, so that was an interesting topic, and I enjoyed discussing it. So let's go to our Q&A for each other. This is a part where we ask each other direct questions that we answer on behalf of men and women. So I will give Renee the opportunity to ask me the first question.
Okay, well, I actually, with this topic, a lot of friends, I asked them, my girls, some questions that they, from relationships or prior situations they have seen of friends and things like that. And it was questions that they asked. So I'm just going to go into the group chat. So this is one thing a lot of people are doing, open relationships. So, because, people like the street life or whatever. I'm not judging nobody, whatever floats your boat or whatever works. So this was very interesting to me. And I would love to hear your point of view as a man in a marriage with one woman. Is it possible for a man to love two women and meet their needs in a plural relationship?
Is it possible for a man to love two women? Yes.
And to meet both of their needs.
I don't think needs can be fulfilled by one person, one source of entertainment, one entity, one anything. That's why we tend to have so many different outlets to fill needs. So I don't think anybody could fill one person's total needs. You know why? Because as you're pouring out of yourself into the other person, nobody's refilling your cup. So you tend to get empty. You're not going to keep doing it over and over again. So eventually you're going to need your needs met as well. Not to mention that every day that you get up and you go to work, something can happen that can alter how much you actually cater to a person. And what if you go to work and find out you got to pass some type of, like my mom used to be in banking, Series 6, Series 63s. We got to study for another license. You got to stop everything you're doing to make sure you secure this new license to make sure you can continue to do what you do on a financial space. Do you think that person that you're dating is going to get all their needs met during that phase? No. But power up to everybody that feels like they can love multiple people at once, because I was younger and I thought that was the groove, because that's what society teaches you, get another notch in your belt. Society really teaches men that that's what it is. It's cool to be that. But after you get older and you realize how much time and commitment it is to
it's too much work.
It's way too much work. It reminds me of the story that I heard when I was watching a special, and it was like, When a drug dealer is trying to make money on the corner, he has to literally get up early, be on that corner to serve every fiend. But fiends don't come around all the time. They don't always have the correct amount of change. So the amount of hours you stand on the corner to make money here and there, you literally make less than minimum wage. That's too much time and effort to make no money for me. In the same mindset, it's too much effort to try to juggle two people and still live my life or still get to the goals that I have for myself. So you can love two people, but I don't think you can meet all they needs if that's answering your question correctly. So what is your answer to women that have high expectations from men when it comes to relationships and standards, but don't actually give it in return? Because I hear a lot about what women want, but not what they're actually giving.
Well, I think when you want something, what they say, no good deed goes without work or something like that. It's a supplement. Like if you want a guy with a car, what are you doing to assist or bring? It's all about, cliche, the table. So what are you bringing to the table? You want a man that has a house. What are you doing to make this house a home? What are you doing to make him comfortable or for him to say that, I enjoy for this woman to be in my house, to reap the benefit. What is the benefit of the man having you there? Okay, sex. You can have sex anywhere, like nowadays. So we can't even say, oh, you'll be able to have sex with me all the time because we live together. I mean, you guys were having as much sex before. So it's like, what is the supplement? What are you giving? And I think we all have to kind of think that there's nothing in this world for free. We all learn that at a young age. You learn that through your job experiences. You learn that through all different types of areas in your life. So when it comes to relationships or companionships, how could you not think it's the exception to the rule? I feel like women, we put ourselves on a pedestal, but then we give ourselves away too easily. So it's like, if you want to put yourself on a pedestal and you want all these things from a man, what is, except physical, what is he getting in return? And it's like, I think even if it's not monetary, there's people think like, oh, how did this unattractive woman get this attractive, rich, successful man? Or vice versa. Why did this rich, successful man choose this woman, or this case may be? Because she brought more to the table. She was able to supplement the things that she wanted. I feel like we don't look at life that way when it comes to our companionship. And I feel that's where we get it wrong. That would be my answer. I just feel like we get it wrong, and we have we want to be the new millennial woman, but we still have these old ways in our head. Like, you want to be the boss, but then you want a man to treat you. Sis, what you want? Like, you want to pay for the meal, or you want to not pay for the meal. So it's like, at the end of the day, you got to know what you want and what you bring to the table and supplement. And it doesn't have to be monetary, but it could be other ways. And I feel like a lot of women, we don't look at it that way.
Okay, that's a good answer. What question you got for me?
Okay, so this is good because it's about love. Why do men think it's okay to say I love you without truly meaning it? Like, they're like, a lot of men be like, yeah, I love you, but they don't truly mean it. They're just saying it to appease you, or they're saying it to kind of like hush you. Like, yeah, I love you. I got love for you, girl.
Remember what we talked about earlier in this episode? It's a behavior thing.
Mm-hmm.
The actions fill a void or satisfy a need. You need to hear I love you. So yeah, I love you. But if I love you,
a little treat.
Yeah, but that's what you want. It's almost like, sometimes I feel like women are sometimes like puppies in a sense. Like, dogs really just want to feel that you care. Mm-hmm. They'll run up on you and they'll love you. Like, you give them a little pet and everything like that, and they'll love you and they'll go away. And that's the behavior stance I think that a lot of women put in place to get such untrue answers. Mm-hmm. You say you want the truth, but in order for me to continue to get some, or in order for me to get the outcome I want, I got to tell you what you want to hear. Yep. Versus looking for an answer and actually allowing a man to show his answer.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. So that's why I think you get those lackluster answers. So it's my turn, right? Why do women fall in love with the moment and the man's action versus the true definition of love?
Because we're not looking at the long run. We get caught up in the moment. I feel like men, which I envy you guys for that. Y'all got patience. Like women, we want it today. Like I want to be in love yesterday. Men, I feel like you guys have the patience. Like you will sit and wait. You will sit and observe. You will sit and take your time. I was dealing with a guy and I'm like, and I think he was being genuine. I'm like, you care for me? I'm asking him all these questions. I'm like, so what's holding you back? He's like, right now, where I want to be, I got to obtain my goals first. I got to do this. I gotta be at a certain place in my life before I'm able to move to this next step. And it's like, either I believe him or either it's the ball is in my court. It's either one, I'm going to wait, or two, I'm going to be like, listen, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go look for what I want. So I feel men, which I love, like I love the willpower that you guys have. When you focus and you really want to do something, you guys have patience. You're observant. You put yourself first. You do what you got to do. Women, I feel like we'll put a man first. We'll put so many things before us than what we really want inside. And so I feel women, we never really put ourselves first. And that's the reason why we fall for these temporary forevers or these moments or these things like that. And we still have in our head, now he's going to change. He'll grow up. Different things like that. Like, no, I feel one of my friends, I love it. Like she was in her 40s when she met her husband. And she asked him, are you done playing games? Are you done? Just blunt like that. Are you done? Like, do you know what you want? Are you ready to commit? And he was. And they got married like 6 months later. I feel it's all about time. I feel when a man wants to be with you, he will be with you. It's all about time. It's all about what he wants. And he has to see a future in you. Women, we get caught up and fixated with fixing somebody, waiting it out, roughing it out, all these different things. I feel when it's right, it's going to happen. I don't care if it's World War II or III. Like, look at all those love story movies, them old school movies. People was coming back with limbs and they writing overseas and everything like that. Nothing can hold true love back. If you're supposed to be with somebody, you're going to be with somebody. And I feel women, we make it too easy. Myself included. We make it too easy. But not no more. Let me stop.
That's a good answer. Chestnut checkers and direct question, and not, do you love me? Do you want to buy me this? Do you want to spend time with me? Like, yo, are you done wasting your time? And I love a line of questioning. So what question you have for me?
Why is it so hard for men to communicate their real true feelings?
I would say I blame it on, as I said, like society. Like school doesn't teach you how to express your thought. And as a child, especially for men, you can't express nothing because you're gonna look soft, or you're gonna be this, or you're gonna be this. Don't cry. Don't ask too many questions. Don't do this. So how do you ever learn to express what's in your mind if society's telling you can't? You can't question your parents. You can't question authority. You can't question your teacher. How am I gonna learn to process my feelings or my thoughts if I can never get it out? And I think that's the reason why you don't get genuine love, expression, or honesty from men, because we're conditioned not to really show it. You'll really get to it when you get older and you become mentally, emotionally mature to express your words. And sometimes in order to express your words, you got to hear great words from other people. You're going to read it in a great book. You're going to hear it from a great therapist, or you're going to watch a great YouTube person or podcast, and you're going to learn to articulate your words in the way that they express it. But yeah, in order to get it, you got to be able to somehow exercise that brain, that muscle.
So second question, I'm sorry. So do you feel that men who are like, do you feel it's easier to be around men who are married and committed than single men? Do you feel it's easier to
For me, hanging around,
Yeah.
you saying hanging out with single men versus married men?
Because their mentality is, commitment is different things like that. And even though a single man may have those type of same values or morals, but is it easier to hang out with men that are like-minded than you?
No. You need to find
so you can hang with the creeps? Let me stop.
Like for my trip to Houston and my brother playing.
Yeah.
All of us was married. And we still had a ball. All of us still hung out with in sections. We still talked to girls. We still laugh and joke. We even had a session where we met another group of married women and we talked about marriage. So it's all about.
No, I'm not saying if you marry, you a stick in the mud. I'm not saying that.
Some people are. So that's what I was saying. You got to find the mixture of people, regardless if they're single or married. You need to have this is my turnip crew. We get together. Oh, this is my intellectual crew. So we're gonna go to cigar lounge or something like that. But there's no difference between married and single. You just got to find the right group of people in order to get the outcome of the night that you want.
Got it. Sorry, one more.
Go
so
ahead.
do you feel if you had a friend that was lost in his way, would you guide him? Like a man, would you ever step in like, yo, bro, that's a good woman. Like you shouldn't be doing that.
So
Do you find yourself doing that?
I consider myself for my younger people. Nowadays you got group texts and chats and stuff like that. So for my younger crew that I worked with at in finance at Mount Sinai, a lot of times I give them those older points of views. So, hey, this is what I went through. Be careful for that. Oh, hey, you acting like this towards your girl, but what are your actions telling her? And they be like, why you got to come with all that? Like, I got to keep you honest, my point.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to get to this age where you're going to reflect from all of the dumb things you did and then say, damn, I wish I had somebody to talk to me. I was there. I was that person. I spoke to you because when I got to a certain age, I said, damn, I wish I'd had more conversations with people, you know what I'm saying, to get that outcome. I tell people all the time, I'll give you a scenario. One dude, not going to say his name, hopefully he's not watching. He tells me that
no one will know.
He's in a relationship, but he was out doing him.
Okay.
And I said, so while you were out doing you, what was your girl doing? And he said, at her mother's house. And I said, do you know she was at her mother's house? Yeah, she told me she's at her mother's house. I said, while you are out doing your dirt, trust me, she knows. And the fact that you believe that she's at her mother's house, trust me, she's getting you back. He was like, nah, I'll kill her, son. I was like, you can say that. But while you're out putting in the effort to do what you're doing, the effort is not in her. And she's going to recognize it. Eventually, she's going to be out, not at her mother's house. She might be at her mother's house now, but one day she's not going to be at her mother's house, getting the effort that you're not giving her. So just take that as food for thought. And he swore up and down that she wasn't. And I was just like,
you never know.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
So.
Wow.
Now, it wasn't me to try to convince her that this girl was cheating. It was just like saying, I want you to keep an eye open that the same amount of time that you're spending to do something, the universe will give it to you back.
Karma is a bee.
Yeah. So you want me to ask you a question?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So since the topic is about love, and we mentioned earlier, you said that when it comes to men and women, women tend to break up more. And statistics say in divorces, women file for 80% of the divorces, first time, second time, and third time. Where does love stand in the face of divorce and child support court?
You said between love and what?
Where does love stand in the face of divorce and child support court?
See, child support is one thing I can't talk about because I don't have a kid. So I could never tell a woman not to take a man for child support because I don't know how it is to feel as a woman that I cannot financially take care of my child. Now, I know some women do it as spite. Some women do it for other reasons, but I can't really speak on that because I don't know how I would feel if a man that I loved and I had a kid with left me and is not taking financial responsibility of his child. So that's something I can't speak on because I just don't know that feeling. Me, I could talk about love and marriage because I felt those feelings before. And I hopefully one day will want to get married. Hopefully I never get divorced. But I feel, what I want you to research too? How many of those people get what is the remarried rate? I feel like women, we say we want a divorce or different things like that. It's still like proving a point. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I want a divorce. What you gonna do? Or I'm divorcing you because this is it. Like, I'm tired of it. And what I'm noticing a lot, that people are getting divorced, but they still hooking up. I know like so many people that are divorced and they become friends and they still hooking up. Like, what was the point?
Because and this is shifting from the question segment that
I know. I'm sorry. Now I'm asking another question.
We're going into discussion, but
that's a different thing. Like, I just don't understand. Like, and then another thing is like, we from the hood. Don't be putting the police and the law in between what we got. Like, come on now. Like, we can't figure this out by ourselves. We got to bring the law into it.
The police, the law, the courts, everybody's involved, but the two people that started
exactly. You get all stuck up. You listening to people. You listening to what the lawyer's saying. You listening to this. You getting all caught up in the process that you don't even realize why maybe it would have been easier to work it out. Maybe it would have been easier, just to talk it out or to get your emotions. Like, a lot of women, I'm not saying a lot of women, I take that back. Some women take the men for child support because they know that's what's going to hurt them the most, the money. Somebody telling them what they got to do for somebody that they're no longer with. Like, I got something over you. That's why I'm getting this. I'm getting that. Da-da-da, da-da-da. So it's a tit for tat thing.
Well, that's why the question was proposed to you.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What you're saying? I would
never do something like that, tit for tat. Like, me, I'm just at a point in my life that I feel it's too much energy to take off time from work to go to the courts. It's too much energy to fill out all that paperwork. It's too much energy to do all that. If you're not going to take care of the responsibility of your child, I had this child, I got to find a way. I'm going to find a way. Now, there's some women, and I'm not saying nothing is wrong with it. Like I said, I really don't want to talk about it because I don't have a kid, so I don't even know how I would feel in that moment. But I know that I would never take a man for child support because we broke up, or I'm trying to get him back, or I'm trying to teach him a lesson, or I'm trying to show him something that I have a power over him. No, I feel the biggest loss would be losing me, not money or anything like that.
So judging by your answer, it sounds like love does not show face or does not stand firm in divorce or child support, because we said love was patient and kind, unconditional and all stuff like that, but apparently not in these courtrooms.
Not in the courtrooms. I know people divorce in they after the aftermath and years, they come to some type of, resolve or they finally like each other after all them years. I've seen like even old people, like even my parents, not old people, my parents not that old. They can laugh and joke now, but not 20 years ago. They was not laughing and joking. Yeah, it takes time. And I think they realized that they were not really compatible. Mm-hmm. My mom didn't like the things that my father liked.
And it's also in the eyes of divorce and breakups and stuff like that.
And they're not even divorced. Sorry. They're not even divorced. They still together. I'm like, okay, you want to be separated for the rest
divorce
of your life.
Is one of the worst processes. You get one paper that you sign to get married, and then you get this entire 1,000-page booklet to get divorced with all these terms and conditions, and it's a hustle. Everything is a hustle. But
my father's so old school. He's like, I'm only getting married once, so I'm staying married to your mother for life. I'm like, okay.
But to answer the question that you had asked me based off of my question was, why do people still hook up after divorce? I am my understanding from discussions I have, because women file for most of the divorces and the separations or call it quits, they tend to sleep with the person to sometimes prevent building up bodies. Meaning, I just left my husband or my baby father. We can still have sex. He really truly wants to work it out and he'll stay. Men tend to stay. But she's using it as an opportunity before she can replace him. And then once she replaces him with a new body, they tend not to go back, or they tend to let you know, like, I got somebody else, you've been replaced. And then that's when the men get confused, because they're like, hey, we've been together doing this all the time. We're not gonna get back together. So
exactly.
That's that answer.
I thought we were just,
And I've heard this so many times from various women on why they keep the guy in the cuff.
Yeah.
So you got the next question?
Does it make a man insecure when their woman makes more money than them, owns their own home or vehicle, and has healthy relationships with their friends?
I'm going to say absolutely no. Are there some men that feel intimidated when they meet somebody that's on a higher career path or accomplishment list than them? Yeah, it can be ego, busting, that, damn, how do I get this? But not in terms of the question that you ask. Everybody would love not to struggle. So if she makes more and I make this amount and we put our money together, then we build an empire. The fastest way to wealth is combining resources. The fastest way to poverty is not having resources. So I would say no, but I will say this, and from experience in the past, when your woman makes more money than you and then she throws it in her face like she's the breadwinner and she calls the shots, then yes, that's where most of the stuff comes that you're in terms of the question that you're asking, because I have seen that multiple times, not just in my own dating experience, but even in other people that's close to me. I'm just like, you can't put yourself on a pedestal as if you're higher or better than the person you're supposed to be equal to, because you and that person are supposed to be one. So how are you trying to one up your partner?
Exactly. And I feel to talk about that, women always say, oh, I want this, I want that, but why do we ego trip when we have it and we throw it in people's face? Well, not in people's face, but the person that you really love, why would you throw that in? Why would you hurt them? Why would you want to hurt them? Is it a defense mechanism? Is it a step up that you feel, oh, I don't need you? I mean, of course, financially you don't, but obviously it's something that they provide and that you need. And I just feel like we use that as a defense mechanism, because we were like, oh, you need to stay with this man if he keeps cheating with you because he's the breadwinner. You can't make it on your own, or whatever the case may be. So now I feel like women, when they're the breadwinners or they have money, I don't need you for nothing. You can go. I feel like that's all a defense. Like,
I think you're speaking to a generational gap, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a generational gap, because women were not that successful and we didn't have the opportunity to be breadwinners like we can now. But I feel like we taken that advantage, and it's been a disadvantage to us not females, but as being feminine. I feel like the femininity, or whatever that word is, we kind of get stripped of it, because we feel like we have to be more masculine in order to be successful.
Do you have to be more masculine, or are you being raised to be more masculine?
I feel I was never raised to be masculine. Like,
no, I'm not saying masculine in that sense. I'm saying you don't need no man. Make sure you have your own. You don't need no man. I feel like that is an ongoing common phrase in the Black household, especially because it's a single household.
My mother never told me that. She was like, listen, don't be struggling like I am. Make a right choice in a man. That's what my mother would say to me. Make the right choice with a man. The thing that my mother scared me so much about is the choices of a father, of a provider. Make sure you have a man that does this. That's what my mother will always say. Make sure you have a man that does this. Make sure you have a man that does that. Don't have no kids with no man that Make sure It was never. She always included a man in the situation. So me kind of being rebellious of that a little bit, I would say, I wanted to be independent. I don't want to depend on nobody. I want to do this on my own. But me, as being a woman and know who I am, I'm a hopeless romantic. I want to be in love. Like, all these, it's like a constant battle that I was like in my head. And like now at 30 something, I'm like, I was bugging the fuck out. Like, I didn't know what I wanted, So it's like I was kind of rebelling what my mother was saying. because I felt like, well, she didn't get it right, so why should I listen to what she's saying? You know, like,
Yeah,
and it's like,
you.
but now I understand that she was giving me advice based on her experiences, so that I learned from her experiences. My mom chose love over a lot of different things. So I feel my mom was like, find you a man that's understanding, find you a man who's financially, you know, stable, find you a man that you could communicate, like these things. And I used to be like, why she's always telling me to find a man? I wasn't listening to the other part. I was just listening to find a man. And I'm just like, please, you done had 2 men, you done had this marriage and all that, like, I don't need a man. And it's like, I didn't listen to the whole message.
Mm-hmm. You picked what you wanted.
Exactly. Selective hearing.
Yeah. That's that Christianity upbringing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pick and choose the lines that defend and give justification for your actions, but not all of us said don't do everything you just did.
Like, I'm trying to listen to my mother, but I'm listening to Destiny Child talking about question. Tell me what you think about me. Like, you know, so it's like now I want to be Beyonce.
All right, so let me ask the last question and we start wrapping up because we've been on for a while. Okay, last question. Why do some single mothers teach self-love to their daughters and not their sons?
I can't ask that. I don't know. See, I don't like.
You grew up around people who have kids. You grew up who people have sons
so
and daughters.
If I look at my mom, she had my brother after having 3 girls. Mm-hmm. So did she teach my brother self-love more than me? More than, I gotta really think about that.
Did she teach you and your sisters, make sure you have your own, love yourself, be independent, have your own job, have your own thing, and then turn around and tell your brother the same exact lines?
I don't think I was raised that way. Honestly, like I told you, my mom, she was very, she wanted us to have balance and good relationships with men. Mm-hmm. And I think my mom instilled that so much in my brother that my brother really became the man that my mom manifests for all of us. Like, my brother, like, he is super dope. Like, I just love him because he's in his mid-20s and he found a girl that he likes and he's wanting to marry her and he's not playing games. He's honest. He's focused. Like, I think my brother was my mom's and my sister's prayers. Like, honestly, I feel like, and I know he's done his dirt, like, you know, and done, not even saying dirt. He's a single man. He's able to, you know, to sow his royal oats or whatever they call it. But I feel like what my mom instilled in him is not to play games with women's hearts. She instilled a lot of good qualities. I feel like he learned the lessons. He's seen 3 generations of women that had failed relationships with men. My brother seen me go through heartache with my high school sweetheart. My brother seen my sisters go through back and forth situations with their boyfriends and people they've been with. He's seen how my mother and my father, his infidelities and different things like that. And I think he kind of learned the lessons from us and took things differently. So I would say my mom did a good job with that. Okay. Give her kudos. But do I think that in general, I think women do treat their boys a little, from what I see, I feel like women do put their boys on pedestals compared to women. I feel like they don't want their daughters to suffer like they have. So I feel like they focus more on their daughters being independent than focus on their daughters being companions or looking for companionship. Mm-hmm. So I do see that. I see there's a lot of men that they make sure they got their degrees, they do what they gotta do, they sow the royal oats, they travel, they do all the things they want to do, and it's not really a time limit on them. With females, I feel it's a time limit. Like, okay, a certain time you're gonna meet a man, a certain time you're gonna have a baby, a certain time you're gonna settle in your career. Men, y'all it's like y'all it's like y'all got time for everything. A man could have a baby at 50. A man could get married at 72. A man could, I just feel like men don't have time constraints on them. So mothers are a little bit more lenient with their sons because they feel like they have more time to do more things. Where females, I feel like they put time limits on us, which is not fair. Especially in this generation, people can have babies. There's women out here who having babies at 50 and putting their careers first, So I feel like self-love should be taught either way. And I feel women should have more self-love or should be taught more self-love because we have so much on us, especially as Black women. I feel we should definitely have more love on us than anything.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
Thank you. All right, so let's get up out of here and get to the last segment, which is DNA Decoded. What is your final thoughts for the people on this episode?
My final thoughts on this episode, when we talk about the difference between love and lust, I feel, as I always say, there needs to be a balance of everything. I feel like women need to go in with a game plan, and men, they need to be more open with communication. And I feel like when we find that balance, you get the love and the lust, and you be happy.
So that was a good word for the folks. I will wrap it up by saying love is something that we all seek. It is God-given, it is God-knowing, and we are made in his image. I'm not very much of a Christian biblical person, but I do believe in the tenets and principles of the biblical text. And we are made in his image, and we can manifest a lot of things if we look inward instead of outward. So you can find love, you can fall in love, but you have to understand truly what love is. And love is an unconditional commitment. You will die for your mother. You will die for your brother, your sister. You will die for your child. You will commit. You will risk everything. You will stop your life to make sure that this person is set up for success. And we have to start transferring that same amount of love, that definition, into our relationships in order to get better relationships. Otherwise, we're just lusting over vagina energy to get it and to give it. And that'll be my closing statement for the show. So thank you all for tuning in. Please catch us on social media, the Relationship DNA Podcast. You can get all of our links from there, or you can go to the website, therelationshipdna.com. That is spelled then relationship, then the letter D, the letter N, and the letter A.com. That is live there, and we hope to see y'all soon. And we out this month.
We out. Thank you guys for tuning in.